What's up, y'all? It's the one Sule, and I'm about to tell you how to become athletic and aesthetic in a quick 5-step guide. Because look, y'all, I want you to have the best of both worlds. I don't want you to believe the hype. People will say, oh, you can't be athletic and look aesthetic, or you can't look aesthetic and be athletic. Because no, the truth is you can have it all. You can go to the beach and have people trying to eye fuck you in public, literally wanting to rip off your shirt and whatnot as soon as you take your shirt off. I want you to go to the gym and go into the basketball court and throw down windmill dunks and then go onto the gym floor and go bench press 315. I want you to have the best of all worlds because that's what I've always wanted. I personally always wanted to be the best at everything. I wanted to be super strong, super athletic, while also looking super lean and shredded and having big, strong muscles, all that. So I'm about to give y'all the keys on how you can do this yourself because really, it's not that hard. You just gotta work smart, okay? So step one is you wanna start training for strength. You wanna be doing big compound movements, squats, bench press, RDLs, Nordics, pull-ups, all the big movements, overhead press. And when you do these movements, you wanna do it in the 4 to 6 rep range. What this is gonna do is it's gonna build strength. And understand, when you build strength, you gain muscle. Big misconception is that building strength and building muscle are unrelated. It's quite the opposite. Think about it. You progress in the gym by doing more weight and more reps over time. So let's say you're benching 135 for 10 reps. Next week you come in, you do 145 for 10 reps. You know, you gradually increase the weight, increase the reps, and increase the sets. And that's how you grow. So I want you to go in the gym, do your compound lifts, and focus on that. Step 2, you also gotta be doing athletic movements. A lot of people like to say, oh, if you just squat heavy, you'll be able to jump high. No, if you wanna be athletic, you gotta be doing athletic movements. Balance, like a lot of plyometrics jumping, like depth jumps, box jumps, seated jumps, explosive lunges, sprints. Because look, this stuff builds insane athleticism, especially if you pair it with the strength movements. So think of it like this. You go into the gym, do the compound movements and build up the strength. Then you apply that force, you apply that strength, you apply that into power by doing these athletic and explosive movements. And now all of a sudden you become just like this explosive machine, just full of power and full of strength. And then step 3 is you also want to work on your mobility because you don't want to be like stiff and like, you know, just not able to move well. When it comes down to being athletic and aesthetic, you need to have like a fluid flow and movement to your body. So you want to be making sure that you're doing mobility exercises like ATG lunges, you know, like the knee over toe squats. You want to be doing reverse Nordics, and you also want to be stretching. You want to be doing at least like 10 to 15 minutes of stretching every day. Me personally, I like to just throw this in, like I'll throw in an anime show or I'll throw in a movie and then I'll just start stretching. You know, I'll do like some pancake stretches, some butterflies, like this stuff and whatnot. And that way my body just stays loose and mobile. So now, you know, I built up the strength. We built up the strength. We've also built up our athleticism with the explosive movements, and now we can really apply it and make it flow and just be smooth whenever we go out and do anything athletic or whenever we're just moving around in public in general. Step 4 is you want to be eating real food, because understand, if you're doing this training, it's very intense on the body. And when you're doing all this training, you got to make sure that you're refueling with real food. You can't just be out here going and eating McDonald's or eating Cane's chicken. Chances are you're not some black dude that has like elite genetics. Chances are you're, you know, a regular dude that has normal genetics. And if you want to maximize the genetics and become as athletic and aesthetic as possible, you got to play the game the right way. You got to make sure you're eating healthy, eating your chicken, eating your steak, eating your fish, you know, eating your protein, getting in the healthy carbs like sweet potatoes, oats, eating your eggs, eating your fruits, eating your veggies, stuff to get all the micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. And what all that is going to do, it's just going to fill your body. It's going to help you repair, and it's going to restore you. So that way you can go out and you can keep training, keep improving, and keep getting better from workout to workout, from training session to training session. Number 5 is also you want to be fasting, okay? Because what fasting is going to do, it gets you into this fat burning state essentially. Like, let's say you do an intermittent fast. You only eat for 8 hours out of the day. That means for 16 hours of the day, you're fasting. During those 16 hours, after like 12 hours, your body's going to go into a mini ketosis. That's when your body is running off of fat. That means you're going to be burning fat. You're literally going to be melting the fat off your body so that you can become thick skin shredded. I'm trying to put y'all on. And I'm gonna throw in a couple bonuses too, just so that y'all really get the memo. On top of that, you also wanna be walking or just getting in some form of movement daily, because what this is gonna do, it's gonna shred you down insanely. Like if you just walk 10,000 steps a day, like me personally, I've barely worked out in like the last like month because I tore my shoulder. But I was just walking 10,000 steps a day, 15,000 steps a day. And just off that, I still stayed shredded. I still kept my abs. I was still looking good. And now I'm getting back. I started running and jogging a bit. I'm still moving good just because I stayed lean. I kept my body weight down, because if you want to be athletic and if you want to be aesthetic, you want to keep your body weight very low. You know, if you have a bunch of fat covering your body, you're not going to be able to show off all the gains you've made, all the muscle that you have. So make sure that you keep your fat low just by eating clean and fasting. And then I'm throwing a couple bonuses as well. Also, just make sure you're getting your sleep. Simple as that. If you're not getting your sleep, you're not gonna recover. And if you don't recover, you're not gonna grow. Understand, going into the gym and hitting your bench press, hitting your squats, hitting your overhead presses and all that, sure, you're gonna get stronger. But the true gains is when you go home and sleep and you really lock in those gains. Like, think of it like this. If you go to the gym, that's the stimulus, okay? Now you can grow. But in order to lock in the process, it's like clay, you know, you're building your physique with some clay, you know, you're molding it, sculpting it. You gotta throw it into the kiln, you gotta throw it into the ceramic thing, make sure it gets fired so that it really solidifies. That's what sleep does, okay? It's just gonna have a whole host of benefits, raising testosterone, raising human growth hormone, lowering insulin, lowering stress. That way you're not gonna be, you know, you're gonna be more disciplined, you're gonna be less likely to binge eat. You're just gonna be locked in essentially. And then the last little bonus, because I know I told you I was a 5-step guy, but I'm gonna just give y'all the whole game, so that way y'all can just, you know, lock this in for yourself. Make sure you're getting at least like 20 to 30 minutes of sun every day. If y'all didn't know, the sun is really a hormone, okay? It's actually an essential part of life because it regulates your hormones. It makes sure everything is in check. And on top of that, it just naturally burns fat. Like, I can't tell y'all how many times, like, I would wake up, like, let's say I woke up at 195 and then I just chilled, you know, did some fasting and then went out in the sun for a little bit, not even working out. You know, maybe I did a couple walks, but that's it. I would go out in the sun for like 30 minutes. Next thing I know, I come back, I'm 190. It just shreds fat off your body. And no, I'm not talking about like sweating. Like, it actually just shreds fat off your body. On top of that, make sure you're hitting the sauna after you're doing these lifts. That way it just promotes recovery, it lowers inflammation. And not to mention, it's just a good place to relax and whatnot. It relieves a lot of stress. So there you have it, y'all. That's like a quick guide on how you can just become athletic and aesthetic. It's just simple. It's really simple. You know, make sure you have the main keys in check of doing the strength movements, the compound movements, you know, make sure you're doing your athletic movements, and make sure you're staying mobile and just, you know, staying loose. That way you can apply all that force, all that power. On top of that, when it comes to your diet, all you gotta do, fasting, and I'm trying to remember, I actually forgot. Oh yeah. Just make sure you're doing your fasting and make sure you're eating real food. That's literally all you gotta do, and you'll change overnight. And then to recover, just make sure that you're getting your sleep, make sure you're going out in the sun, and make sure you hit the sauna and throwing some walking too to also, you know, stay lean and stay shredded, because also walking just stimulates the functions of the body. It gets you into a flow. It gets everything moving and grooving nicely. So there you have it, y'all. That's all for the video. That's a quick guide on how you can become athletic and aesthetic. I am the one, Sule. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of like my content like this and just like more of my thoughts and whatnot, I always write them out on Twitter. You can check that down in the link below. On top of that, I have the athletics school community. Is very cheap right now, so get in while you can. You're gonna get a bunch of workouts. You're also gonna gain access to a community that's just talking about becoming like the best like physique version of yourself, like just how to train, how to eat, how to recover, just like more esoteric little tips that like you wouldn't even think of, like when you're, you know, lifting, like think about like this, or like focus on your breath, stuff like that. So you'll get access to all that in the community. You'll also get like weekly coaching calls, so check that out down below. With all that being said though, I am the one, Sule. Thank you for watching this video. I'm out. Dooski.